Evolution MX offers you a quick and convenient way of accessing the data that's important to you in the format that makes most sense. Through the use of dashboards, we could access information at a very high level. So an example here being the company dashboard, which gives you key performance indicators over a number of different areas of the system, where you could then see summary information presented to you in the format that you want to be able to see, but also then click further into the detail beneath. Going through my outstanding creditors, we can see a detailed listing of all of the supplier balances that make up our overall creditors figures. We can expand upon a particular supplier to see the detailed transactional detail beneath those balances, and also home in on the individual images of the supporting documents. So access to an invoice at this particular point by drilling down on the supplier balance. That's purely an example of how you could get high level information across the various areas of your system. Using the same dashboard technology within the contract ledger could provide you with important overall information about your contract work. This dashboard is drawing together several reports in one place, detailing the key performance indicators across your contract ledger. The figures here have been added together for all contracts, but you could filter this over a group of contracts should you prefer. And as you can see, the information can be presented in different forms, whether it's a summary tile with a set of figures on it, whether it's a graphical representation, or whether it's a more detailed table of figures that could be accessed in further detail. Crucially, also on a dashboard such as this, we could have a headline reminder of the value of or number of retentions that are outstanding across your contracts. You can see 23 contracts have got outstanding retentions. If you click into that, you could see the detail beneath it, detailing each of the individual contracts and the values of those retentions, but also be able to expand any further just to see if there is one or more retention per contract. Now, this same dashboard could be used to access information on a particular contract. So using a filter in the top right-hand corner, we could now say, let's have a look at that dashboard as it applies to a particular contract. A lot of these figures will now make more sense as the calculations relate purely to this particular contract. So you can see its overall spend, how far through the work it should be in terms of its expected overall costs. And we can see the value of things like orders values for materials and subcontractors. On this particular occasion, we can see that the retention is singular for this particular contract. But accessing the top right tile here on the detail of the cost spends, we can go in and see exactly where that spend has happened. The codes that are being used here would be purely up to you to decide what they are and how many codes there were. We've got examples here of how my material spend is split across a number of different categories. And I could access a particular area of the system to be able to see all of the transactional entries that have gone through that particular area. And that would similarly allow me to access the underlying data beneath through the use of the paperclip. So that'll retrieve an image of an invoice that's been recorded at source. Okay, we can also use the dashboard to provide information about documents. So I've got a folder here hidden behind the tile for contract documents. That'll detail for me everything that I've got in terms of document images for this particular contract. So whether it be purchase orders from your suppliers to your suppliers or your subcontractors, whether it be other transactions that the accounting system has generated in terms of payment certificates, for example, to subcontractors, or invoices that have been received by your suppliers and coded into the system. We can also include against a contract a number of other types of documents. Ad hoc photos and drawings, for example, could be simply dragged and dropped against a contract and stored, therefore, in a central repository where you've got access to everything. This could also extend to health and safety and site forms. You could have risk assessments, method statements, either produced through an existing means that you've got for Word or Excel documents, and then simply dragged and dropped against the contract. Or we could have use of a forms module, which can allow for the templates to be designed within the system and then made available to mobile users. If you're at all interested in that side of area, then we'll be happily able to entertain you on a one-to-one basis on that. So the same idea behind the dashboards can be used to give you more comprehensive reporting, but again in the format that you want to be able to see. So using an example here on my menu for contract performance, and this is purely an example, it can be tailored to suit your exact requirements. This is now listing for me all of my contracts being shown down the left-hand side, and then my choice of columns across the top. And I can select these from a library of fields available to me. Okay, you can see all fields available that are in the library can be ticked for inclusion on this particular report and then positioned where you require them on screen. So if you want to move things around, you can easily move that. You can also have highlighting colors. So I've got green is highlighting jobs that where the profit margin is greater than 0. So money making jobs being highlighted for me. As I scroll further down, red could be indicating a job that's already over budget. Orange could be a job that's nearly over budget. 90% of its budget's been used up already. So it gives you important traffic light style reporting without the need to have to interrogate the figures too deeply. But from here, not only could you take the information that's being shown and export it to Excel, if that's your preference, but you could drill down on the detail beneath it. So I could interrogate the 34,500 worth of total cost on this contract, drill into the analysis of it, where I'm able to see how that is split across my plant, labor, material, and subcontractors, or whatever headings you've chosen to use. And then further from that, we can go in and look at the makeup of, in this case, my material spend, where I've got a similar ability to how we saw earlier to drill down to the transactional information beneath. And then from there, I can retrieve documentary evidence. So hopefully this demonstrates how you've got quick and easy access to the information that you require when you require it, without the need to have extensive use or knowledge of the system. The information is presented to you in the format that you want to be able to see and accessible whenever you want it.